Welcome back to TechbyPike. Today we are going to be taking a look at the all-new Microsoft Surface Pro 9 tablets. We went out and got this, and then we're also going to be talking about the Microsoft Surface Pro signature keyboard with Slim Pin 2 combo, which we'll attach to this, and that'll enhance our experience for this review, and we're very excited about that. This tablet comes in an array of configurations, and depending on what you get, it can cost as low as $999 up to $2,500. It also comes in an array of colors too. You can get like the platinum, the sapphire, which is kind of a bluish color, graphite, and or forest, which is forest green color. This one I believe is the platinum color, so we went with just the generic color for this one. Depending on the specs that you can get an i5 up to an i7, and that's on the Evo platform, or if you go ahead and attach a data plan to it, then you're looking at Microsoft's own SQ3 processor. We got this with an i7, it's 12th gen, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 SSD, it's Wi-Fi only obviously. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and unbox this, and then we're going to take a look at the tablet, the keyboard, the combo, and just do a full review of this, and we're going to bring it to you right now. So let's go ahead and unbox it. We'll start with the tablet first. Move this over. And I believe there is a tab that we can pull on here. It's been a while since I've reviewed a Surface, so we're pretty excited about this. No fingernails whatsoever. And we'll just lift this off here. Alright, nice little presentation there, like that. Take that out. We got some propaganda here. And then it looks like we have the power brick. So I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side. Doesn't look like there's anything else in here. We'll start with the propaganda like we always do. And it looks like we got kind of a... this is where everything is. So, this is good. So we have a Windows Hello camera, front-facing camera, and it looks like we've got some microphones. It looks like we have some USB-C ports. We'll take a look at all that. So that's great. And then we got our safety and regulatory guide. So we'll put those in there. Toss those down. Let's go ahead and open up the power brick here. We'll see if it tells us the wattage of this guy. So, yeah, it does, in bold lettering, 65 watts. So, nice and long cable. I'm not going to undo it here, so we'll just set that off to the side. I don't think there's anything else in there. And then let's go ahead and unwrap this. Oh, I like that a lot. So, it looks like we have the power button, the volume rockers, and then we have, full-size SD slots, and it looks like just a little latch to grab the kickstand. Same on this, and then we have two USB-C, and then we have the two connectors for the keyboard. I want to go ahead and see if we can open this, see how difficult that is. Okay. That's great. Pretty sturdy design. I see some airflow here. There's a space with, it looks like venting, possibly, so that's great. I did see something here. I'm going to lift the kickstand up. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe more storage, possibly. Or am I kidding myself? I might be kidding myself. I'll take a look at that and see what that is. Feels great in the hand though. I like it a lot. Screen looks really nice. Let's check out the keyboard. All right. I'm not a big fan of these type of keyboards. Kind of have that soft felty color, and they always seem so flimsy to me. Nothing compared to like my iPad keyboard, which is pretty rock solid in my opinion. Okay, put that down there. We'll lift this out. Oh, okay. All right, so attach your signature board to the surface, place your pen in the charging tray, and that'll charge your pen up. That's great. Okay. Let's go ahead and take this guy out. I want to hook up this. Oh, wow. That was really quick. All right. That's not bad looking, actually. Okay, let's test out the keyboard here. Actually, that feels pretty good. And the only other thing I can really compare it to is my iPad keyboard. Click test on the trackpad. Goes all the way up to the top. Good clicking action, smooth. Keyboard has good returns, so that's great. Everything looks fantastic, and I don't really see any kind of physical changes from previous version. So let's go ahead and plug this in and turn it on and see what we have. A couple things that I want to go over before we actually turn the Surface on. One of them is the fact that you can hide the Windows Surface Pencil in the keyboard here, and there is a magnetic strip in here that keeps it in place. It also charges the pen while it's sitting in this little notch. You can hide the pen by lifting up the keyboard and putting it up against the surface here. So that's a nice little feature to have. I have an iPad Pro, and the Apple Pencil sits right on top here, and it constantly falls off, gets taken off when I put it in a bag, anything. And sometimes I've replaced the pencil like a couple times now, just because either I've lost it or I'm carrying the iPad and the pencil drops on the cement and it bends the tip in some way. So anyway, just keep that in mind. It's a nice little hiding place, and it keeps it nice and tucked away and safe. Another thing, I may have mentioned during the unboxing that this right here, this slot, was a SD card slot. It's not. It's the power port for the power cable. And on the left-hand side, I did mention that you have two USB-C ports here, but they are Thunderbolt 4, so keep that in mind. If I lay this down flat, get rid of the charger cable here, lift up the kickstand, I'll show you here, underneath this door right here is the SSD. And you just push down on the indentation, lifts the door up, you can remove the door, and there it is. This one came with 512 gigabytes. It can be upgraded up to 1 terabyte. So take that, Apple. Their iPad lineup, you don't have that feature, which is unfortunate. And then one more thing that I want to mention that I didn't mention in the unboxing was the fact that there is a USB-A port on the power brick right here. I don't know how that's going to work as far as moving data back and forth, but let's check it out and see if it works or not. After that, I think I've covered everything And all that's left is to turn it on, like I said, test out the USB-A port and do a little benchmarking. And then I'll have some final thoughts. This is the camera and microphone test on the Microsoft Surface Pro 9. It has Windows Hello Face authentication. The front-facing camera is 1080p full HD, and then the rear camera is a 10 megapixel autofocus camera with 1080p HD and 4K video capability. Another thing about this is the dual far field studio microphones are actually pretty decent, and so is the camera. And another thing that I like about this is the fact that the camera's in landscape mode and not in portrait mode. I have an iPad Pro from last year, and it's pretty off-putting when you're in a conference call and somebody is looking at their screen. They have an iPad Pro and they're looking off to the side. It's just an odd scenario. So anyway, kudos to Microsoft for putting it in landscape mode. Now, I know that Apple has come out with their new iPads, and the base model does have the camera in the landscape mode, but the others are still off to the side, which I don't understand. We'll get to those when we get the iPads in-house. Anyway, I just want to call it out. Kudos to Microsoft. And I'm going to go ahead and do some typing here. And I know you can hear that. I did the test, like I said. So anyway, pretty good. The Microsoft Surface Pro 9 is an edge-to-edge 13-inch Pixel Sense touchscreen. And it's a little laggy. It's 120 hertz. I don't know if you could see that or not, but there's a definite bit of lag there. We did do a testing with our Spider X Pro, and we got 100% of sRGB, and then we got 81% of Adobe RGB, and then 84% of P3, which isn't bad. So we ran Cinebench R23 as our first synthetic benchmarking tool, and for our CPU multi-core score, we got a 7,402 points. For single core score, we got 1,110 points. We did some synthetic benchmarking with Geekbench 5. Single core score here is 1,149, and then a multi-core score of 6,488. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here, and you can take a look at the performance scores in more detail, and you can also slow down this video if you want to look at them closely. But there you go. Geekbench's OpenCL score for this laptop is 17,658. I'm going to scroll down a little bit more so we can get some more details on the performance score. We did some secondary synthetic benchmarking using 3D Mark. TimeSpy was one of the apps that we used, and we got a graphics score of 1,559, CPU score of 6,297, and a online comparison score at 1,757. 3D Mark has a CPU profile benchmarking tool, and we have a max threads of 3,721 to one thread at 678. You can see the ones in between here. And then we have some monitoring stats. You can take a look at that. Just slow the video down, and then we have a detailed score down here below, and it looks like we got CPU clock frequencies and temperatures while we were running that benchmark. So you can check that out. And it looks like it is per thread. So we have max threads, 16, 8, 4, all the way down to 1. Okay, our last 3D Mark benchmark was around storage, and the storage benchmark score we got was 1,695, but you can see down here what was tested. The load of Battlefield 5, Call of Duty Black Ops, and Overwatch, and looks like we got a couple other stats there. So take a look at that, and we'll move on. Alright, we're checking out PUBG. We're going through the tutorial, so we'll figure it out. We're getting around... Oops. We're getting around 60 FPS, 55 to 60. All right. So just checking the temps while we're playing some PUBG. And the screen itself is getting pretty hot, actually. I'm going to put my fingers on it. Yeah, it's getting around 40, between 38 and 40 Celsius. And then obviously the keyboard's separate. And then if you move it over here to like the exhaust, it's coming out the, you can kind of see it out the top there. That's interesting. All the way around the screen. So we're checking out the speakers here, see how loud they get. That's right at 100%. You can hear a little bit of feedback on that. But it's not bad, it gets pretty loud. Okay, I want to do a quick comparison with the Microsoft Surface Pro Pen and the tablet itself, and do a little drawing and see if there's any kind of delay between the pencil tip and the actual tablet. So we're just going to pick a color. Oh, this TechbyPike. There is a little bit of a delay. Just a little bit, and if that's important to you to where you don't want one, then maybe this is not the right tablet for you. Now, I wasn't going to do any kind of comparison with the iPad that I have, but I am going to with this. I have an iPad Pro. It was last year's edition. It's the 12.9 inch. So let's just do a quick little same thing here. And there is no delay whatsoever that I can tell. So if that's something that's important to you and it goes into the deciding factor of what tablet you might get, the iPad Pro might be the way to go. If not, and you like the look and other features of the Windows Surface Pro 9, then the Windows Surface Pro 9 is the way to go. And I know this isn't apples to apples, i7 versus M1, and it's, you know, the Apple OS versus Windows. Anyway, all things to consider. So that is the review of the Windows Surface Pro 9 tablet. A couple features of this tablet that I really like and I wish other manufacturers would incorporate in their tablets, like Apple. One of them is the fact that it has a kickstand. You can stand this up vertically without it having to be in some kind of a case or a keyboard attached, which I really like. Another thing I like is the fact that it has two Thunderbolt 4 ports on the side there, so that's a nice feature. Something else that I really like, and I wish Apple would do with their iPad lineup, is the fact that this storage bay opens up and you can swap out the 512 gigabyte SSD, which came with this particular tablet, and you can upgrade it right up to 1 terabyte. So that is really fantastic. Another thing I like, and you would need to have the pencil and the keyboard for this, but the pencil sits in this little notch on the keyboard, and when you attach the keyboard and line it up with the actual tablet, the pencil is hidden away and protected, and you know where it's at and it's not lost. And not only that, you can fold it down, put the kickstand down, and then carry it off, and the pencil is still protected and in that keyboard notch there and being charged. So that is a nice, fantastic feature. Like I said before, I have an iPad Pro, the 12.9, and the pencil sits on top, and I can't tell you how many times I've either lost a pencil or it's fallen and gotten damaged in some way. So, and those things are not cheap. So anyway, that is really nice to have. Something I didn't talk about was this USB-A port on the power brick. I said I was going to mention it, and through some research I found out that is used for fast charging other devices outside of the tablet. So you can charge your phone and still have it connected up to the tablet here and charge it as well. So another nice feature. We got this tablet out on Best Buy website for a little over $2,000. And I guess the question for you, is it worth it? Is it $2,000? Is this worth $2,000? And I'd say if you are a Windows enthusiast and don't like iOS or Android as an operating system on other tablets, then this is the tablet for you, definitely. So, anyway, at one point or another, I will do a comparison between this and the iPad Pro that I have, or I'll get the new one that just came out a month and a half ago and compare it to that. So anyway, look for that video. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this from TechbyPike, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. Helps the channel. Not only that, gives us an opportunity to bring more videos like this to you. And we thank you for that. Until next time, we'll see you in the next one.